Hey guys, today we're talking to Gordon from the bands No Home and College Radio. I really had fun on this one. Since this interview, I've actually talked to Gordon fairly often. Um, Really cool dude, and so stoked that I met him. In this interview, we're going to talk about the Seattle scene, what's going on with the venues, No Home. We talk a little college radio, we talk some wrestling. It's super funny. I'm about to end the podcast and then we just start talking about wrestling and other things. It was a great time. I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you for the support, and y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for joining. I'm super stoked to talk to you. Just a shout out to Evan real quick from College Radio. That yeah. Um, well, first off, man, how or when did you know that music was gonna play a part of your life?
Supposedly, I would say I'm in like two. Um, my pops would he had this guitar and he said that it's like one of those little toy guitars like a kid would have. He said I used to run around with that. And I guess that would be like the first quote unquote moment that I think I knew that it was. I don't remember it personally, but I would say that that would be the number one moment, I
Hell yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's badass. When you were like a kid, do you remember any music or like were your parents playing music around you? Were you into music like when you were younger?
Oh heck yeah. Like this goes even back with my pops too. So my mom she was a nurse in the Philippines, and when her and my dad came from the Philippines over here, my dad was in the Air Force. Um, she had to retake school. So when my dad was he was a cop, he we would just kind of drive around and he would quiz me on like music. So he'd be like, "Hey, what's this band?" Obviously, it would be a lot of like classic rock, so like Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Clearwater, kind of that range. A lot of Zeppelin, but music's kind of like really been introduced to me pretty young, actually.
Man, that's awesome. So, were you born in the Philippines too, or you're born here in the States?
I was born in the States.
Okay, awesome. So do you like what inspired you to like pick up an instrument, and what was the first instrument you picked up?
First instrument would be a guitar, be an acoustic guitar, and then I think it's just the love for music. Like I want to say it's just going to like my first like local show, like basement of a church, and just like seeing these groups play when I was in high school, and just being like, oh my gosh, that looks so much fun. Like just the excitement and just being a fan too. It's like before even like because I feel like a lot of I hope sometimes we get a little lost in like being a fan over being a musician too sometimes because you get so lost in just trying to write and do that. We all started as a fan, and just that moment of just being in that basement, like seeing this group and that just that sensation of just like, oh my gosh, this feels so right and it's so cool, like yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
Where So were you playing or did you like have aspirations to kind of be in a band before you started going to local shows? Or is that kind of what drove you to join bands or start bands?
not really, to be honest. I really love just going to the shows. It's super fun. It was honestly the only time that I got to be around people that were like me too, because like in my high school, I had like friends are friends, but a lot of friends don't listen to the same stuff or like dress the same or stuff like that. So it was like the one time that I could actually like, oh, like I fit in and whatnot.
What kind of music was that like primarily when you're going to shows?
It would be like what I love about it is it would be super mixed actually. Like you get a metal band with like a ska band with a rock band, and then like a death metal band kind of thing. A lot of pop punk though still, but very diverse. It was one of those where you weren't picky. No one was like, oh, it has to be these bands. It was just the bands that wanted to play, and everyone seemed to have a good time. We were fortunate to have like a couple spots too, like at the college. They did some shows, and then just little venues or little theaters that let people throw shows, which was really cool. Not so much later on. You couldn't really see those actually.
Yeah.
Gosh, the future too. Yeah.
Oh man, I know it's pretty wild.
How is how are your venues doing there in your hometown? Like,
We have some are doing okay.
mm,
Not a lot are doing the best though. I mean, just like everybody out there, it's just they need people. They need to function and thrive to actually like survive. And right now, we have like a lot of shout out. It's Keep Music Alive, and they have them all over. There's a Music Alive WA, and they're just helping like promote, like helping push to donate to help the venue stay up. And they've It's really cool is they put up on all the venues all over Seattle.
mm,
They put up a fake for sale sign like this is gonna where it's like it looks kind of like it's gonna be new apartments or something, but it actually says if you don't help, this is what could happen. And they're promoting help save our stages, because it's a huge staple in every city. I feel like it's just the music scene thrives.
yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I'm in San Antonio, and Austin's like an hour away, and Austin's kind of
Oh,
the same deal, man, with condos and Sixth
the
Street.
the, the Dirty Dog, man. I was super bummed about that closed down.
Yeah, dude.
Heartbroken.
Yeah, Dirty Dog. I played there a few times. Did you play there?
Oh, a bunch. Like
Yeah,
the place was gnarly. Like you could, if it was a good night, you look out, you're playing, and it could literally be people from the stage, and then you look out because they open up the door windows, and the people are standing out there. So it looks like you're just playing in front of like thousands of people. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
man.
I crowd surfed once from while playing the bass. I jumped in all the way to the bar side, and then like all the way back.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty impressive.
It's fun.
Yeah, man. That's real cool. About Austin and whatnot. I guess just to give everyone just a kind of history, like what are some bands you've been in?
So first started playing bass. The first time I actually played bass was in a band called Subconscious Day of Reckoning. It's kind of like a deathcore band back in like 2006 for like a show, and then didn't pick one up until a band called Moneta. It's like an alt rock group, real fun. Uh, there's a Thousand Mile cover that's pretty popular. They have, and then a hardcore band called To the Wind. I did the album No More Than This, super fun. But then I transitioned over to a band called I Declare War for a good chunk of my like professional touring career, and then I would say towards the end of that, I transferred over to Enterprise Earth, and then just decided to kind of like didn't fit too well and came home and uh, joined a group with my friend Craig and Nick and our friend Delrick, and it's called No Home. So that's the band I'm currently in where I play bass.
Yeah, hell yeah, and
A
uh,
collective, very wide range of music.
hell yeah, that's just super badass too. Like, so how do you go about like going from band to band? Where these just like just opportunities to gig to like fill in, or was it just like you just felt it was time to kind of move on to a different venture?
They all kind of sort of happen,
Yeah,
I guess you could say. Like, was playing guitar in one band when Moneta needed a bass player, and just it just felt like one of those opportunities not to pass up. And with I Declare War, it's when I was in To the Wind, I got offered a chance to play in No Bragging Rights. Love those guys. Like go way back with all of them. And I hear they're in the studio, but uh, they actually asked if I wanted to join when Rick left the band, but I wanted to stick with To the Wind, and then obviously ended up doing I Declare War. But my friend Ryan, who ended up taking that spot, was I think extremely more perfect for that than I would have been. Oh man, killer bass player,
yeah, dude.
lefty bass player.
Yeah, I played with No Bragging Rights at Dirty Dog. One of their tours. Trying to think of who the other band was because they weren't the headliners. They were with another band. Like I played with them at the White Rabbit and then at Dirty Dog, like on that same tour.
Both those venues. R.I.P. Man, I think, or
Yeah,
did they bring
no.
the White Rabbit back?
So the White Rabbit it's called the Paper Tiger now. When it first transitioned, it was like owned by C3, or like C3 is putting all the shows, like C3 from Austin. And so we're getting like some newer music because San Antonio's always been pretty like heavy metal
Yeah.
and hardcore. So they're bringing in some bands that like never came here. They always went to Austin, but I think that only lasted couple years. And now the Paper Tiger still exists, but it's nowhere near like as bumping as the Rabbit
See, we did
was.
we did we did Paper Tiger when it was the Chelsea Grin, um, Ice Nine Kills, Enterprise Earth Tour 2017. But like a couple years before that, they were tearing it down. It was only like one of the last couple of shows. It was our headliner, I Declare War, Oceano, Last 10 Seconds Live Barrier, and Invent Animate. And
Yeah.
that show was wild at the White Rabbit.
Yeah, man. Like, yeah. R.I.P. The Paper Tiger, like, at least did the structure like justice. Like, I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
the Rabbit bathrooms. They're kind of like, they're pretty
They're not,
wild.
they're not the best.
Yeah, but Paper Tiger redid like the bathrooms and made it a little nicer, and it didn't have like the metal or the hole in the wall kind of feel. Like it's a little more like, I don't know, established or something. It's cleaner, but it's still cool. It's still cool. Um
Man, I would always have fun in Texas.
yeah, man. So right now with No Home, like how have y'all been like practicing, or are you practicing? Like what are you doing during this quarantine?
With No Home, it's just writing, a lot of writing. We're working on something right now, um, that people will give it maybe the first or second month of 2021. You'll probably hear something, but just definitely a lot of writing. It really sucks because we had pretty much I would say a good setup for the full year of this year before everything went to crap. And like we were literally supposed to leave, I would say, gosh, it was about 2 weeks before they really started shutting everything down. So it was like we pretty much was like, should we leave and see what happens, or should we just cancel everything and then just not even take the chance? And we canceled it and didn't take the chance, which was honestly the best thing because everything fucking shut down like a week later. But hopefully in 2022 get some stuff out there.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad like I listened to y'all, dude. Like your music, it's so good. I think it's super like it's real, and like lyrically, like it's real stuff, like motivational too. And I like that. I like that kind of style of music. Like I was telling you, gave me some no bragging rights feels,
Hell
which
yeah.
like I have like a no bragging rights tattoo. Like I love no bragging rights. Like
Heck yeah. And my
um
boys would appreciate that too. Like the band is the biggest influence has to be, it would be number one, no break rates, number two, counterparts.
hell yeah, another amazing band. Um Man, I was going and I just got off my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good, man. Like Craig is just just the dude is so good at what he does. He was built to scream and sing, and it all, as you said, it comes from the heart too, man. Like, and he's speaking for, it's the, not to sound like cliche, but for the underdogs, it's like, it's okay to not be okay. We're here. There's someone that feels the same, and we feel the same, and it's like you're not alone.
Yeah, man, you definitely hit the nail on the head. I was going towards like your writing process with No Home. Like, how involved are you with writing the music?
So our last record, pretty much just kind of Nick, Nick and Craig had one full song, and then from there, just kind of like just ideas. Pre-pro'd a bunch of stuff. Went in the studio, did a bunch of stuff to create the 7 songs we ended up doing. I'll be honest, I wrote a lot of the bass stuff. I did everything in a day, 7 songs, and I learned and wrote all the parts for that in those like span of that time. Other than Swallowing Teeth, we had pretty much recorded that one and played that one enough to where like that was like the first real song next to Narrative, because they had Narrative already written. It was originally supposed to go with their previous band called Burdens, but just always bouncing ideas. Like always, I'll be like, "Hey Nick, because I can't play a lot of that crazy stuff on guitar. You know, I'm a pop punk guy, but I can throw a couple riffs his way and really can take. It's like, oh, this idea, and then I'll turn it to something. I'm like, oh man, it sounds a little, but like, dang, that's so cool, dude. Like,
Oh yeah. What kind of gear are you using when you're playing with No Home?
so right now I'm using it's a 412 Powerhouse Mesa Cab, and I run that through an a, a first edition Axe-Fx where you have to do everything manually. But this is the same. I'm using the same tone in everything from Enterprise Earth. So this head, I got it in 2017 because we went strictly DI. So we stopped bringing cabs, and oh, the DI tone in this is ridiculous. It's like anytime I'm like, oh, you know, like, are you okay with just DIing? I'm like, yeah, I don't even want to bring in my cab. Like, if there's enough big enough sound system, oh, it just sounds beefy. Like,
Yeah.
and then I throw the dark glass. It's one of the older dark glass BK5s just for like an overdrive.
Mhm. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, I've never got to do the straight up like like DI setup. How did y'all decide to do that? Like, what was your thought process going to that setup?
Um, for Enterprise, it was one of those. Everyone was kind of doing it, but we also wanted to save on space and save on time. And we were playing big enough venues on that tour too, where it's like you're guaranteed to have a great sound system. If if we did need to play through cabs, like we could probably have used somebody's, but it was different. I'll be honest. It was very hard transition to begin with. But the first time I actually did that was like 2015 for most of the Europe tour we did with Within the Ruins,
Okay.
just because it was just like no point to lug down this 810 in these like two flights of stairs where it just seems like, I mean, you know the memes.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and I mean that was a pain in the butt. I was so skeptical. I was like, oh, I need my bass there. It doesn't feel right. I feel fake. And then we had a killer sound guy, and he made it sound great every night. I'm like, oh, all right. I guess I don't have to do anything. It's like plug in and go.
Oh yeah, such a pain.
I'm a
um,
gear guy. I love playing out of stuff. So it's hard. It hurts my heart not playing out of something or feeling it, especially being a bass player.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, so you guys use in-ears, and like in the in-ears, do you just have like your bass tone louder, or is it just kind of like a good mix of everything?
Oh, this was just DI. We didn't. I think
Oh,
they
that's
now
like
do the in ears, but no.
monitors. Oh, I got you. So you just had like the stage monitors to
Yeah,
go off of.
instead of
Okay.
having to, which was a little pain in the ass, but I would love to do in ears, and actually I'm working on that right now for college radio to do just save my voice so I don't have to, hey, keep cranking up that, I need as much as you can that monitor.
Okay. So for college radio, what's your writing process for college radio?
I like to do a lot of the skeletons, I guess you'd call it. Like, so I'll come up with like a melody, a riff, like, hey guys, or what we've been doing lately is we have a drive file, and it's like if you have a song, throw it in there. We can each listen to it, kind of throw our ideas on it and stuff like that. And honestly, we've been writing this whole time, which is really cool. Like, I think me personally, I had like, I could be exaggerating a little bit, but like, about 25, 30 songs. And we're just kind of cutting through it, picking the good ones, throwing aside the bad ones. And then even Evan, same thing, just keeps writing songs. We bounce them back. Hey, how's this idea? Like Thursday, we did the same thing. It's like I was playing a riff. He's like, stop. I got something. I have something. And then now we have another song. So it's pretty
Yeah.
sick. We got fortunate during this.
Yeah, man. I mean, like,
Face masks were worn too. Don't worry.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Safety. That's awesome. So you guys are really using like your technology in
Oh
this
yeah.
time. You know, I think that's pretty wild too for bands now, like that have this like sometimes when I'll practice, I won't even have our drummer and we'll just like I'll just go straight into my interface and I can just play out of our speakers here and like that's it. That's practice now. Uh,
It's pretty sick though. That's how me and my guitar player Taylor, our lead, he'll come over and I have I'm trying to get one of these Helix stomps set up to where I don't even have to bring the Axe anymore. I just have a pedal board, plug straight in, boom, done. But I'll play through the Helix and then I'll have him play through my iPad, through my monitors. And it's he was kind of blown away. I was like, whoa, that actually it's two different tones. It sounds sick, and you don't have to be super loud. You don't have to lug gear in. Like we could literally put headphones in because I can go like the headphone out. Boom.
yeah,
Technology,
that's
man.
wild, man. Yeah, for sure. Um, One thing I noticed about college radio was that you guys like, especially on Facebook, like I see you post so much like on the different pop punk stuff, and I see like that you're getting your music out there, that people are like engaging. Like, what advice do you have for bands right now, and like how to promote themselves, like especially like during this time of quarantine and the pandemic?
Listen to your peers, and help people too. Like we're all a team. It's not a competition. I mean, it might seem like a giant competition in some time or some at some point, but it's not. We're all here to help each other, and that's like the fun part about it. It's like, if you're sharing, make sure you like or comment, share someone else's. Um, but don't get discouraged. Like be persistent, I guess. But it's just try new things too with it. It's we do live in a time where ads are kind of like a thing, but there are people out there that can help. There are people out there on all those pop punk sites that are super nice and polite and willing to like lend an ear, some advice as well. But write good music that sounds really good, I guess. I'm gonna say, oh, write good music, but like take time, like actually put something towards your music, because that will show. Don't just like, oh, like this guy's gonna charge this, so I'm gonna go this, like really, if you give 20, get 20, give 5, get 5. you know it's one of those. It's If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like invest in yourself, basically. You you
don't
know what
don't
you
be
get
afraid
what
to
you pay
take
for, kind of
chances
stuff.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So for No Home, I see that y'all are part of the Dreamer Agency.
Heck yeah. Cameron, love you,
Heck
man.
yeah. So how'd you get involved with that or with them?
I believe Craig and Cameron actually kind of like knew each other and connected that way, as well as we work with pinup management with Joel and Josh, and I believe there's a connection with all that too. So pretty fortunate. But Dreamer has so many cool bands right now. Like definitely, if you have a chance, go check it out. Especially melodic hardcore fans. Oh,
Mhm.
Farewell is.
Yeah, hell yeah. So like, do you have any advice for bands who are looking like for management or agencies, or like, do you still? What do you think about like management agencies versus like DIY?
If you can DIY, I 100% say DIY. Like learn, because it's gonna be crucial when you do need one of those, like a manager or a label or something like that. The fact that you have been able to do it yourself will kind of like really show them that okay, we can trust them, because a lot of labels are in management. It's they don't want to like control everything. They want you to do your thing, you know. But definitely, if you do it yourself, like try to get out there. I always say this: take your home first too. Like don't try to tour right away. Um, Obviously, you can't tour right away right now, anyways. But like, really grow your fan base. Like utilize, especially now because you can't tour. Utilize the internet. There's so many tools out there that you can reach millions of people we're still all kind of like getting a hold of, like doing the live streams, Q&As, connecting, listening party. It's really cool. Like I'm really excited for all the holiday like live streams. Like Newfound Glory's doing one, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Man, that's badass. I'm stoked for the Newfound Glory one. I'm probably gonna get a sweater and a ticket and just watch it with my family. Um yeah, man, I think that's definitely great advice. And just anything like what do you think like agencies or labels like look for in bands?
Being able to work well with others. That's like a huge thing. Like you just, you know, working well with others. That's it's ginormous. I think it's the number one thing, being a team player, because you know there's a lot of us out there that have to get along.
Yeah, I mean
I'd
I think
say
that's
that, and just I would say that, and the ability to like be creative. Like I think that's a good one.
yeah, no, I think that's great advice. For like absolutely. So what do you have going on like the future of like No Home and College Radio? Like what are y'all planning to do, in 2021 or after this, whenever this pandemic's over?
Just keep doing it. Keep releasing music. Keep writing music. When we have the chance, actually go out and start playing music. Hopefully, the end of 2021, we'll get out and play some shows out here, kind of like test the waters. But I'm sure live streams right now too. But touring, EPs. I know College Radio right now. We just released our holiday song and our EP. I used to get messed up. We are in the midst of writing a lot of music right now. So we have a I would say some fun stuff for 21, at least if we're stuck this way for another full year. At least we'll all won't be too bored. Be a little entertained. And same with No Home too. Like I said, we have stuff. Um, we could be filming something in like a week or so. So that's kind of cool. So there's some cool little things there with that. But
Uh,
just trying to get there. We need to just get to 22.
yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel too like majority of 2021 is gonna still be getting things under control. So hopefully the end of the year we can have live shows or whatnot. So how do you feel people can support like your bands or bands in general like right now during this time?
Um, Pretty much, like, and you don't have to buy something. It's sharing, liking, pretty much word of mouth is just as good as buying a t-shirt. If you are wanting to support and buy, like, go actually to the band's like page itself, because it's more than likely they're doing it themselves right now just because of what's going on. um like us, the same way. Like we have a lot of stuff on Bandcamp. You can College Radio, you can find it super easy on Bandcamp. We have a crew neck and an EP, little bundle, little pre-order up there. That's pretty fun. Big Cartel has all the No Home stuff. You just got to type in No Home Big Cartel. But it's pretty much just supporting them, watching, reposting, um, and just kind words. Come out to shows when shows finally happen, all that.
Hell yeah. What are you doing right now to like find new music?
Uh, Pretty much those pop punk groups, like those, and a couple like the metal groups I'm part of. Like, there's some really cool new music. I wish there was a little more of like the heavier stuff, but there is new, like, we're starting to get some stuff now. But like, I'm very how do they say it? When I was younger, they're like, oh, when you hit like 27, you're just only gonna listen to one thing and not new music anymore. And it's oddly true and not true, because like I listen to Alkaline Trio like all day. Like Alkaline Trio, throw on like NoFX, Johnny Cash. I have been into it's a little a little bit different, but a guy named Charlie Crockett.
Okay.
It's like a folk, kind of like a bluegrass country, but he was deep Johnny Cash kind of voice, and it's pretty ridiculous, but it's good music too. Like him, like Nick 13, gosh, old school kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
Haven't really been not too much new music, but just the pop punk groups.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you? How about you? Where are you finding new
Oh
music?
man, Spotify. I actually found a lot of pop punk, a lot from the pop punk group. Spotify, like I would just go through like similar artists. That's kind of I found like Goalkeepers. Shout out to them. Like once I put it out that base to
Oh,
base, like that
so good.
interview, that's like what spawned like reaching out to more of like the pop punk bands, and which has been really cool. But yeah, I found them. But I feel kind of like in the same box too. Like I'm still listening to the music I used to. Luckily, some of the like ska bands and stuff like Goldfinger just put out new music, so there's still like an older
Ooh,
band I listen to putting out new music. So it's cool. I was
it's
waiting
sick
for you.
because we got Mike Hara in there too.
Yeah, yeah, and he's in Texas now. I've been trying to ask him like to do this. He's mutuals with a bunch of my friends, and he's just leaving me. He's not reading my messages. So Mike,
Mike, come on,
MXPX, come on. No, but
face to base.
yeah, base to base. I was waiting for you to mention Alkaline Trio because Evan mentioned that like they're just your favorite band.
Yes. I mean, you hear like some of her first stuff, you can really hear. Because honestly, that's college radio is maybe like, oh, like I'm done doing the deathcore stuff. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna do an Alkaline Trio kind of band. And I, the more I started singing, the more I got my range back. And it's hard to sing low, as
Yeah.
it's oh my god, it's hard to sing high too. But like it's easier to sing in like my higher register. So we changed a bunch of songs actually, but it's still got that Alkaline Trio vibe. There's a new one we just wrote that's very trio-esque. Favorite band.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So I have to ask, what do you think of Blink with Matt?
I love it. I feel like I'm like the only one. It's just like when all the people are talking about the MGK stuff, I'm like, I like that too, actually. And I can be elitist too, I guess. But if it's good, it's good. But I think that Nine's really cool. I did like California, but like Nine, you kind of get Matt doing Matt stuff. Like Black Rain on that record is just so just Alkaline Trio dark, but he's still having fun. But at the same time, I don't know what the heck's going on with their live stuff, but they did a show.
Oh,
It's like right before everything went to
I know
crap,
what you're gonna
and
say. I know what you're gonna say.
did you see that where it's like the beginning they're playing it and Tom like it's feeling this man, but it's like
Yeah,
Tom's vocals are coming out of the PA and you're just kind of like what? Like I'd be so embarrassed.
yes, yes, man. I showed my wife. I was like, look at this. Like, how do you think that Matt Skiba feels right now? Like, how do you think he feels with them just using Tom like backups live? That's
I, I
so
I think someone got fired that night.
I
I think
man,
that's what happened.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone lost their job
Yeah, that was
because at least
wild.
we saw them. I saw them when they were out for the California record when I think it was All American Rejects, A Day to Remember, and them. He sounded great. I mean, like for me, it was just very straightforward. In my head, when I first saw it, I was like, wow, this is way better than watching Tom play the guitar. I don't have to hear that weird Angels and Airwave thing. No offense. I love Tom's voice. I'm more of a boxcar racer guy. But like and then you kind of go back and you watch Tom play guitar, you're like, actually, whoa, Tom's actually really good at guitar. He's so spacey with it. He's like doing this and Steve was just punk rock playing just the straightforward stuff. So like I like them both though. I have a Blink tattoo and an Alkaline Trio tattoo, so I was pretty stoked.
Yeah. Uh I my theory is that if Tom comes back, I think they keep Skiba in.
Oh
And
yeah, he's the fucking second guitar
yeah, it
backups.
only makes sense to me. I hope that happens.
And he can play his songs too with them if they want, because it still works. Just because now they all three of them have songs.
Yeah. I really hope that's the future. Yeah. Same.
That and they go on tour and they bring Alkaline Trio as an opener, so Matt can play two sets.
And just be
And I can
extremely
just
excited. Yeah. The dream show. And then college
that'd be
radio
sick.
opens it.
I would be stoked. Every time Alkaline Trio has ever played, well, they only played here once since we've been a band. I tried so hard, but no. One day.
So when you try to get on like touring shows, do you have any advice for newer bands or starting bands trying to get on any nationals or touring shows?
Have a killer little EPK. Like have something like one shop, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, with your music, some videos, past shows, live stuff. Because it kind of shows that hey, these guys care, these guys actually want to like, work for something. So, and promote, like, go out when it's possible and you're not stuck at home when COVID's around, like, go to shows, support a band that you haven't seen, hand out flyers. It's still okay to hand out flyers.
Yeah.
Most of the time I hand out flyers at people, or a flyer, or like oh, here's a demo CD. People are like, what's this? Like when we first started the band, I would go to shows with a flyer and a CD. Hey, here's a song of that. Like, I don't have a thing to play this. So like, oh, things have changed. Crap.
Yeah. I've been like kicked out of theaters and like malls and stuff for handing out CDs
So come
or
on,
like
come on.
flyers and stuff. But yeah,
That's what we
man.
had to do on tour, man, with the CDs and malls. It'd be like, all right, so like we're X short on gas. All right, here's this many CDs. Here's this many CDs. If you guys go that way, I sell this many. We should be able to get to the next town.
Yeah.
The
Touring.
DIY days.
Yeah. The struggle. I've only been on like one like actual. We went like on a 2 month tour, and it was wild, but it was like it was super DIY. We didn't really even have ourselves established like in Texas, so we are just going for it. So I didn't all of the memes and all of like the stories, like I just understood it when I got back. Like
Like, oh, I get
sleeping
it
in the
now.
van, you ate sandwiches for like several times a day.
What are you guys eating? Cup of noodle again? Oh shit, again?
Hey,
Oh, sorry, my
that's a
phone went
cool
weird.
picture. Yeah, man.
I know that though, man. The DIY stuff. But then if you pay your dues. Some people, some bands get super lucky, and like other bands can't get mad about it. Like you you're in the right place at the right time. You see them all over the place too. There's a couple bands that popped up out of nowhere during this pandemic that are getting all this great attention, and you know what? They deserve it because they did something right and they were in the right place. So I use that as oh shoot, man, I gotta work a little harder. What can I do better?
Yeah, absolutely. Motivation, man. If
But
if like anyone can do it. Anyone can do it if you put like your mind to it and you put effort and you just I think confidence too like does a lot. If you sound really confident about you and your music, like people are like, hell yeah, that sounds good. Like
oh, check this out.
yeah, yeah.
Tour,
Like
man. Well, when you can though, touring is fun. Like I was saying earlier, definitely don't just, like start a band and go on tour.
yeah.
Like, but do it when you have the chance. If you have the financial side, or if you don't, like, you just got to go out and do it. I just want to give props to like No Bragging Rights. Those guys like would follow the Warped Tour, like no money. Like they would literally be doing that, hustling at malls, hustling like CDs at the shows, and they got recognized for it. The hard work paid off. Like that stuff, like man, that warms my heart and really like it drives me. Like that was so cool. Like like seeing like groups work hard and it finally pay off, and that's why we do it.
Yeah.
Freaking miss tour, man. Like
Yeah. Soon enough get back to it. So how can people listen to No Home and College Radio?
on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, etc., etc. And it's pretty easy. I thank God now it's a little bit easier than it was a little bit ago. You can actually probably type us in, and we actually do pop up now instead of actually digging, especially iTunes. Probably not iTunes. You have to dig a little bit. Maybe put a song name and like after our name,
I put
and
College
then same
Radio
for
Band
yeah.
and then
No Home though. You type in No Home on both, they'll pop right up. Like new stuff for that pretty soon, hopefully.
Hell yeah. And how can people find out more about yourself?
Just on those sites, Facebook. Um, I don't talk too much about myself. I try not to. It's always about college radio.
Yeah.
Then when No Home puts out something, it'll be always about No Home. What kind of bass do you play, man?
Oh, good question. Right now I'm using a Fender Mexican like deluxe, like a five bass, jazz bass.
Ooh,
Yeah, let's see it.
kind of like this guy.
Yeah, yeah. Mine's just a little red, but I picked it up
Ooh,
because my band we did a Streetlight uh Halloween like cover set, which is so ridiculous to
it's
even
pretty tight.
like I don't know why we even tried it, but yeah, we did a streetlight set and I didn't have a five string, so I used that as an excuse to buy a five string.
Oh man, like I had to buy a five string. Like, I got a five string because we started playing in a lower tuning, and you
Mhm.
couldn't do too much. Like this one, I've had this one forever. Um, this is my Sterling Music Band. It's an actual music band, not one of
Oh
like the
yeah.
fake ones.
Yeah.
Um, this one has been to every tour I've done outside of the U.S. I've had this bass back when I was.
Damn.
I've, I've had a hard time getting rid of this thing. I've like hit people with this. I've like I mean deathcore music, man. The kids you get violent, you go crazy. I've like smashed my head in. I bled all over it. I'm sure so much blood and sweat, but it still plays, still rocks, man. Like little Nick, I recorded a good chunk of the No Home bass, not No Home, I mean pardon that, To the Wind, No More Than This record, I believe, with this bass too. So it
Damn.
goes like that far back. Needs
Hell
a little
yeah.
bit of TLC. Five strings though.
Yeah.
Here. So I'm gonna say is I at one point was endorsed by Legator.
Oh,
This will be the
nice. Hell yeah. Looks good.
this is another one that's been to mostly every place that I gotta go just because we played in a heavier tuning. Um this and me were in a picture at NAM actually. I think it was like
Oh,
2015. I was like my little claim to fame there. Like someone's like, hey, there's a picture of you at NAM. I was like, what? Which
damn.
because of that picture, I got this because I was trying to get a second base from them. They weren't getting back to me, and that's back when Adam, like, there's a completely whole new crew works there. I ended up getting a four string from him, so
Hell
I
yeah,
could
that looks
strictly play.
nice.
And I'll gig this with No Home every once in a while, but this is a fun one. This has some tone. This has
Yeah.
some balls.
Hell yeah. Um, yeah, I have a bass that my wife got me. It was Ibanez like Sound Gear, um, like SR like 500 or something. And that one I use like for like everything really. I was in a band called the Lost Project, and we did the tour for 2 months. So like, I took that on tour. I've had. Well, I actually bought my daughter a Sterling Music Man. I think
Oh,
you can see like back here. She's
the white
12.
one,
It's like
or is it?
green. It's like the seafoam green, kind of with the white pick guard.
Sick
Kind of almost like real.
MXPX.
Yeah, yeah. It's real close to MXPX. But
So much. I got a Fender that's
that looks beautiful. I love
my
the
go-to.
colorway. Um,
I
yeah,
want to
like
be Tom DeLonge.
this is the third interview that Fenders came up, and like I say every time, like I was super anti Fender. Like I listened to like all the metal bands. It's like, oh, I want a Spectre or Warwick or whatever, and I ended up buying a like a Player's Choice jazz bass, which had like four jazz pickups in it instead of
Yeah,
two, and it was so badass. And then like it makes sense. Like it makes sense why everyone plays Fender. Like it sounds good. They're reliable. Like I get it.
especially like for like deathcore. I mean, the record that I jumped in right when they had just done that was I Declare War self-title, and I believe they used a red Fender jazz bass,
Damn.
like a five string. No,
That,
it could have been a four. I think it was a four string actually, but it's just because it like played sick.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I played, I don't have it now, but it was a five string Legator. It was one of their Helio basses for the No Home record. And I'll be honest, like our buddy Ricky set it up and it was, it played good for a real long time there, but then I sold it so I can get the Fender. So
yeah.
I was a Les Paul guy though too, man. Like I over Fenders, I like big
Hey,
Les Paul
that
guy.
looks awesome.
So when I need a little bit of beef,
Yeah, I'm just
I'll stop showing guitars. It's a bass show.
no, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I have somewhere behind me. I have an Ibanez RX guitar, like with some barbed wire inlays, real crazy. I traded my friend a Spectre. I had a 4 string Spectre, not like one of the super like top of the line ones, but it's a Spectre. So I traded
Yeah.
for a guitar. So trying to play some more guitar. I'm super like just at pop punk and a little bit of pop punk leads. Like that's where I'm at. I can do like a 3 string kind of like crappy sweep, like real dirty, but I'm trying to
Well, now's the
expand.
time to do it because the pandemic, man. That's where like the hardest thing in the world that I've always had is chugs when it comes to like the pommies or dun, 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 dun. Think of like Foo Fighters all my life.
Yeah,
I couldn't for the life of me couldn't freaking do that. That's what I one of the things that I focused so hard on during this pandemic, and now it's like a lot of our stuff because a couple songs I have that recorded, but when we do it live, I kind of like don't play it, and I do like a Green Day thing, and our lead will play some of the stuff over that, and the bass is kind of playing it, but now I can actually play it. So it's
yeah,
kind of fun to like, oh yeah, hell yeah,
yeah,
but time.
yeah,
Like I used to play like a lot of like heavy metal on guitar with my buddy Matt when I was in like high school, like a lot of Trivium. So like I went from like playing a lot of heavy guitar to no guitar for a really long time because I sang, and then just straight to bass. So it was like very weird transition.
yeah, man. I love Trivium. I watch like a lot of their streams on Twitch. Like Matt streams like almost
Matt's
every
sick.
day. Uh, and even Paolo, like the bass player, streams. He won't have as many people, so you can like ask him questions and he'll like respond. I asked him if he knew how to play a ska bass one time, and he was like, "Yeah, like Mighty Mighty Paw Stones." I was like, well, "That's tight." So yeah, I mean, if you're listening, you like Trivium, they're on Twitch. Have you tried your hand at Twitch?
I'm horrible at video games. I used to be okay, but like I have a Switch. I'm a Nintendo guy, I guess, but the Twitch thing is not, I guess, not really up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, it
I'd
can
have
be.
to
There's
like,
a lot of music.
see,
I've been.
we would do the live streams on it, I think, but like, we probably should jump on that. It's been hard to do the Twitch thing, the TikTok thing. I just that one's been a hard one to try. Like it's every other time, like I think we might have to get one of those guys. I don't know. I don't want to. Like I'm an old fashioned guy. I want to play music. I don't want to like bounce into a new outfit and
Make
lip
a
sync to a
dance.
song.
Yeah,
But I mean, if people want to do it, go for it.
yeah. I asked. I brought this up with Evan. I asked if y'all had used or heard of and I can't think of the website. It's one of those websites where you can like submit your music to influencers or submit it to
Smith
um
Hub.
Submit Hub. Yeah, if you have tried using like a platform like that.
Um, we've dabbled a little bit.
Yeah,
It's one of those wanting to probably financially put a little more into it to get a little better. But I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff up there. We actually got on a couple playlists recently because of that site. So
yeah,
I think there's like Push Plus too is another one that does some cool stuff.
yeah. I get those. I use DistroKid like when I put out any music, so they're always like giving me like MICO, MICCO, which helps you like talk to curators or whatever too. Just curious to see if y'all use that, because like for me at least, I feel this is like a newer type of way to get your music out, but still like I don't know. You still have to go through someone and they decide if they want to share you or
True.
not. So
It's the interesting thing is if you can get hype behind something before it coming really out, you're guaranteed to probably get something. I'm still trying to figure out how like um we were able to get Untitled on like an actual Spotify curated playlist, and it was awesome. It
yeah,
was killer. Um but then the fluctuations and trying to do everything to get, well, crap, our playlist, like, listeners is huge, but the actual listeners on the page isn't, and trying to even everything out. And like I said, like a lot of those sites, there's a lot of killer ad management groups that can kind of give you ideas of like, hey, if you're spending this on this, make sure you're looking at all these factors. And you kind of, how can I say, it's pretty difficult and not difficult, if that makes sense. It's like, you have to go in and check the numbers, check that, but it pays off in the end. And it's kind of the world we live in right now. We're doing our own marketing. It's instead of paying someone, we kind of pay somebody, but um, we're now the labels. Like I said, using DistroKid, we're now the label putting out our stuff. Like our label, Third String, they use TuneCore, which is another killer one too. And then if we do like singles and stuff on our side, I use DistroKid, and they have killer stuff on DistroKid. A lot of stuff that really helped, made things a lot easier. And
yeah,
same with TuneCore too.
yeah, for sure. I have buddies that use TuneCore. I guess, since we're on this, like, do you have advice for bands like on if they think they should focus on like ads right now, or like when do you think is the time to focus on this stuff? Like, is being on a Spotify playlist like a major goal? You know?
I mean, if you can generate plays without, I mean, you don't need to, but it should be as, I hate to say it, it shouldn't be, but it should be,
Mhm.
I guess. Um, I'll start with that. Like, let's go back to the ads real quick. Like with the ads, I would say, if you have something like awesome, or, if you have something to release, like an EP, a new single, video, an announcement, these are ways to utilize those tools, because you're not just like, oh, I'm gonna just push my recent post, like, hey, what's up everybody, I'm gonna like make that an ad. And, you can do that if you want to get engagement, but like, people want, send them somewhere, a one-stop shop, simple and easy. Don't make them have to jump through hoops, put in this and that. They want to go, send them straight to where you want to send them, which is, like I said, your video, song, whatever. And utilize it then. But there's no need to really do it unless you have something. I feel like I could be completely wrong, but but and then for the for the playlists and stuff, like, I mean, they do a whole lot. They help, but if you can gather, just it's getting those followers and those constant fans. It's not, I mean, not all about the plays, but honestly, it's about having the fans and having, the engagement with your fans too. It's like, hey, here's this new thing, or, and you can engage even more now with the, like, say Spotify has the canvas. We utilize that with our holiday song. Jesus, you can make them super fun, and
Yeah.
that was very engaging actually. Like, we got a lot of people, like, just the little video clip, and I guess fire really does attract people. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Evan burning himself.
We did that a couple times, both me and Taylor. At about 4 or 5 times of that, we were like, all I taste is Lysol.
Yeah.
We gotta
Oh,
stop.
terrible. Y'all were clean at least.
We were. We
um
all wore masks too during that. That was actually filmed in my apartment. Like,
yeah.
we were pretty loud, but told all the neighbors, get heads up, you're gonna hear this Christmas song over and over for a couple hours. No
That-
complaints though.
that's good. There are your neighbors are supportive.
I guess they can't hear us, so I mean, like, I believe my girlfriend can hear me, but nobody, which is, I blows my mind. Like, I belt it when I sing sometimes. It's
Yeah.
like, just to kind of test it out. But I went door to door when we first moved into this apartment, like, because it's a little fourplex or fiveplex.
Hmm.
It's like, hey, I play music. If I'm loud, bang on the door or just let me know, and then I would kind of gauge, all right, I can't do it then or that, but no one's done anything. So got
That
lucky.
yeah, that's awesome. My buddy John lived like in an apartment, not in like a duplex or anything like that, like in straight up apartments, and he would just play his guitar so loud, and he had a half stack, and I was like, how does like no one tell you anything? Like he's just
No one complained.
no one complained. Like
Gee,
it was
lucky.
it was wild. Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
don't
because
know.
guitar. Now, like, have you tried to play bass in an apartment?
Oh yeah, just just shake everything.
With I have to play, if I play bass and I'm not playing through my cab, I'm just playing through my monitors. I can't even actually play through my monitors. I have to put on my headphones because
Damn.
it shakes, and that's what I'm afraid of. Like, especially like playing in my old apartments or like my old house, like just through the monitors, it would shake. And I
Yeah.
remember years ago, like when I was into the wind, in between tours or like shows, I would keep my cab at my grandpa's house. And I remember
Mhm.
turning that on one day. I'm like, oh, I'm playing this living room here, and I about halfway up, it I could feel the house shaking. I was like, probably shouldn't do
Yeah. Yeah, maybe skip on that. Right now, like I honestly I don't have a cab anymore. I just use a little combo amp like a Fender Rumble 500. But dude, I don't even touch it like unless I'm playing. Like I just now go straight into
that.
my
DI.
interface. Like I have all the tones I need there too, so
It's that one stop shop. And like you were saying, like jamming with the group, all you guys got to plug in. Like that's essentially what I want to have when I get out of here and I actually get a house from when we do just instrument stuff. It's like, hey,
yeah.
like it could be X point at night and we can still crank up and oh, it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, man, it's pretty fun. Just I did like a newer pop punk song here and just sent it to like my cousin to get it mixed and mastered and stuff. So it's cool. I still want to get like I always want to get more equipment. I'm pretty sure you probably feel the same way as
Oh yeah.
like musically. Just give me more and just want to learn
I need
it.
a computer. That's what I'm waiting. Just the whole pandemic hit hard right when I was like, oh shit, like I can't put anything to like record on there. I record right now, like I'm using, I was gonna show it earlier, a Spire actually,
Oh,
and I use this and my iPad, and I can record up to 8 channels. Like I have eight channels for per song. I think I can record up to 8 different songs or whatever. It could be, you can
yeah.
record whatever on it. It's pretty much the interface, but I can plug the Helix into that, and like we just did a Green Day cover with our friends Coyote Bread, and he sent me the drums, and we recorded everything on that, and just had a buddy kind of like mix it a little bit, like fine tune it there, and
Yeah.
oh, all from home.
It's so badass. Like I got lucky with my computer. I found it on OfferUp. So it was one of the sketchy exchanges. Like, is this gonna for real like be a good does this for real work or not? I even
And it
got it
was
was
though.
it's good, yeah. It's an iMac but I did bring it home and it had like a real sus like username, like iMac1, and it had a
No
password on it.
questions, no questions.
Yeah, it had a password and they didn't tell me the password. So I was gonna
uh
like I
were
was
you
gonna
still able
message
to
them.
like
Yeah, so I actually worked for like Apple support for a little bit, so I know how to to like unlock a
no, this is
computer.
nothing.
Yeah, but
I know who to call.
yeah, let me know. I'll help you out. But yeah, I messaged the dude and like he messaged back with the password. So even I
Okay,
had already changed it, but I'm glad that they got back to me. They weren't
you had
super
to
shady.
double check, make sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was, but yeah, weird exchange. Have you had any weird like Craigslist like exchange? I bring this up because Evan told me like a couple of weird stories.
Not really, to be honest. Like I get very lucky with Craigslist. Or I think the weirdest one is I got a oh sweet a Martin guitar, acoustic guitar for 300. I'm super stoked. I get there and the guy hands me the guitar. It's
Is
a
this?
like a beach guitar,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm like oh, I knew it was too good to be true. But like, what the weird part is like the guitar itself fits me, which is perfect. I still have the guitar, but
Yeah,
it's small.
yeah,
Oh no.
it's all good. I got you back. Yeah, no, that guitar is nice. My friend bought a couple like little acoustics like that too for tour, so we didn't have to take up space for like the full size acoustics.
Oh, they work so good.
Yeah, they sound great too.
Heck
Uh,
yeah. Sorry about that. Fixing that.
well, that's all good. I'm seeing you have a little pop collection. Some
A little bit. It's little ones that people have given me over the years. So
yeah, same. I have a little one too. It's kind of hiding, but I don't think I've really even bought any. They just like my mom or something be like, oh, this reminds me of you. Here you go. Here's a pop.
yeah, I guess something like, well, I bought one.
uh,
Um, there's like the old Buffy the Vampire Slayer show. I really liked the gentleman character, so I have that. But then there's like a Joey Ramone Cartman. I got the Cartman because I believe I got something for somebody else, and we got it for like it was one of the buy one get one free. And then I
yeah,
like wrestling, so someone gave me a Big E one for Christmas.
man, I, we can go like another 3 hours if you want to talk about wrestling. Like I have a
Well,
money in the
do you watch
bank.
AEW?
I watch, yeah, both. Yeah, I don't
Did
have cable, so like I just kind of keep up on social media with everything.
so you heard what happened last week, right?
Sting, you're talking about
Yeah,
Sting. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'm like nerd. Like I'm a mark.
Woo!
I read like the dirt sheets and all the real like nerdy wrestling stuff. So
It's like trying to. I got a couple
hell yeah,
random thingies.
that's so badass. There's I talked to this dude named Chris Sanchez on one of my interviews, and he's like a big wrestling fan. Like he goes to like a bunch of the A&E pay-per-views and like flies there, and it's wild. Like he's a big fan, and I'm more like, I guess I'm more WWE, but that's just mainly because I had the network and it's easier to keep up with since I don't have cable. But I have like a Kevin
I feel it.
Owens. I have some wrestling stuff like that's Kevin Owens signed right there, and
Hell yeah.
my last name's Guerrero, so I have like an Eddie Guerrero and stuff. Man,
I
we'll
literally
go.
have the closet in here actually has like it's all the wrestling shirts that I have because I collect wrestling shirts too. It's been
That's
an up and down world for my WWE love, but I've been really into the AEW stuff. But
yeah,
it's like the guy that does all pretty much every more pretty much most of all of College Radio's designs Valentine designs by Valentine. He does a lot of wrestling tees actually, and
man.
he's a huge wrestling fan. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, he just did a shirt for Al Snow,
Oh,
which I'm sure you'll remember Al
oh
Snow.
yeah, absolutely, man. We have a local wrestling just group called Heavy Metal Wrestling,
Hell
and we played. I'm in a band called Young Costello. We play like ska music primarily, but they wanted a band, so me and my singer we played metal before. So we're like, well, we'll be your band for like the wrestling show. And we played everyone's like entrances. We just made up like heavy just riffs on the spot just so they could come
yeah,
out
sick.
to you. And that show, Danhausen wrestled, and he has like this little kind of gimmick deal where they they play tequila. He does like the Pee Wee Herman dance, like, and then he just hit, yeah. And but normally they play it like over the speakers, but we were there, so we played tequila and like live for that little thing, and then he did his little gimmick, like a little like elbow drop or some shit from the whatever. He was on the bar when we did it, so
Oh,
it,
that's fucking hilarious.
yeah, dude, it's a that was super fun just to like play wrestlers entrances like all random, but
There's some new wrestling leagues out there, if I'm not mistaken. I know definitely in like the Dallas or the Austin area, Dallas or Austin.
yeah, yeah, wrestling's still pretty big here. That group Heavy Metal Wrestling, like they were recording like in one of our old malls, they like rented a spot in the mall somehow, and they were doing like live shows, but they had to kind of they stopped because of the increase with the pandemic again. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it affects more than like, just music, and all the forms of art is
Oh,
like impacted, you know.
we have two like leagues out here. One is now kind of diminished, but Defy is the other one. And like, just to kind of dig in, like we actually got to see Cody Rhodes like first match out of the WWE as the American Nightmare. And it was like really nuts to actually like, oh shit, there's Stardust. Cody Rhodes like literally there had him in like 300 people. It was wild. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then shout out to him being able to use roads again.
Woo
Since,
woo.
yeah, man, we're gonna go. We can go forever. We can go forever talking about wrestling. Um, all right, Gordon, I'm gonna let you go though. I appreciate all the time that you took out and working with me, getting my puppy, taking her out to the
Hey, no
bathroom and
problem.
stuff.
That's a
But
cute puppy.
thanks, man. It was my daughter's Christmas gift. So
Oh,
yeah, so
and your guys' gift too.
oh yeah, I mean we're the ones doing the work right now, so I guess so. But dude,
Heck
I appreciate it so much, man, and we definitely have to catch up and do a part two for sure. It was
yeah,
fun.
we'll just do a part two and we'll just do wrestling. It'd be like we'll just cross out the base to base and it'll be wrestling to wrestling.
Hey, I'm down for that too. I'll bring Chris and we'll just have like a big wrestling
Oh, I'm
podcast.
into it.
All right.
We have some other buddies in another podcast, High School Never Ends podcast. Same thing. Like towards the end, we were like, "Oh, you like wrestling?" Like, "Oh yeah." It's like, we could be here for an hour. But
Yeah.
hey man, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
Two
thank you so
speed base to
much.
base.
Base to base. All right, later, man. Have a good night.
Late.
Late.